I'll tell you a little bit about a research study that Colleen and some of her colleagues performed. And this was about how students made decisions to major in computer science. So what they did is they went over to talk to a lot of introductory computer science students about how they were making their decisions, and they interviewed quite a number of students to understand and develop a model for how students were making a decision to major in computer science. And what they found was that there were three main pieces of data that students used to determine whether or not to major in computer science. The first piece of data that they used was their speed on homework and exams in comparison to other students. Another piece of information that they used was their grades in introductory computer science courses. And then a third piece was their background. How many years had they been programming in comparison to other students? But what was interesting, if we call this kind of the data, the raw data, it wasn't just the data itself that influenced whether students would major in computer science or not. There was a really important interpretation step where students looked at the data and then made a decision to major in computer science or not. And what was interesting about the interpretation step is that it was heavily influenced by whether students had more of a growth mindset or a fixed mindset. So this was influenced by growth mindset. And so you can imagine taking grades, for instance, that a student who did poorly in their introductory computer science course might, if they had a growth mindset, say something to themselves like, well, I just need to develop a little bit more background in this subject and then I can go on to major in computer science. Whereas a student who had more of a fixed mindset might take a bad grade in their introductory computer science course to mean that they just weren't good at computer science and so they shouldn't major. So this was a big part of how growth mindset actually came in this important interpretation process.
And so in my research, I found that students reported that their faculty members talked to them about whether or not everybody could do computer science. And in one case, a student reported that their faculty member said that not everybody can do computer science, and that you have to have a particular mental outlook, and that just not everybody has it. And I think that sentiment was intended to be a form of compassion. You know, that your poor performance isn't a reflection on you as a whole person, that you just don't think this way. But it still reinforces this basic idea of an innate ability and a fixed ability that not everybody can succeed. And so then still sends the message, you don't belong here because you're not one of the people who are going to be able to succeed. You don't have it.
So to conclude, this video has been focused on the implications of growth mindset and its importance for instruction. And we've heard about some of the research and some of the practical implications involved. And then we've also heard about how to bring growth mindset ideas into our instruction and a specific tool that supports students in strategizing towards developing their STEM skills more generally.